I'm Sharon Betters, and you are listening to the Daily Treasure podcast produced by Mark Inc. Ministries, and we are traveling together on our journey to Easter with the women of the resurrection. Today's devotional is called Tell Her to Help Me, and today's treasure is from Luke chapter 10, verses 40 through 42. Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. Over the next few days, I'm going to be sharing with you excerpts from my book, Treasures of Encouragement, and you can get the book at any bookstore where you can read these passages in context, but I hope that these words will help give us a fresh look at Martha. Tears must have stung Martha's eyes as she helped the servants pick up empty bowls. Her mind raced, searching for the reason her plans for an extraordinary evening with the Master had dissolved into a disaster. Jesus and his disciples had needed a place of solitude, and their acceptance of Martha's invitation gave her the opportunity to do what she did best: serve. The aroma of stewed lamb filled the house when they arrived. Bread hot off the coals filled the baskets. Just a few more details, and all would be ready. But then, everything fell apart. Martha could not be everywhere at once, and Mary, her sister, was not helping. Instead, she was sitting at Jesus' feet, enjoying his company. I'd like to hear his words too, Martha may have muttered, but someone has to fix the meal. Jesus doesn't even notice how much I'm doing. This is ridiculous. Confident that her indignation was righteous, Martha puts her thoughts into words. Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. Without acknowledging Martha's need for help, Jesus defended Mary's choice, adding confusion and regret to the anger in Martha's soul. In Luke 10, we read, Martha, Martha, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. What did Jesus mean? Martha was doing what was expected of her and what she believed was right. Why didn't Jesus appreciate it? As an Orthodox Jewish woman, Martha probably had traditional views of her identity, and she seems to believe that her sister should hold those views as well. Martha expected Jesus to support her in re-educating Mary. Instead, Jesus confronted Martha with a fundamental but overlooked truth. Martha wanted Jesus to acknowledge the importance of her service by demanding that Mary behave in the same way. But instead, Jesus defends Mary, saying that she had chosen wisely, that it was important to seize every opportunity to deepen her relationship with him. Contemporary thinking and rabbinic teaching evidently had shaped Martha's view of herself. Josephus, a contemporary of Paul, wrote, "The woman is inferior to the man in every way." Rabbis did not expect women to learn or to understand religious teaching. Martha apparently accepted this view, which explains her confusion when Jesus said that her sister had made the better choice. He suggested that Martha's activities, though not inherently bad, nevertheless robbed her of something far more precious. Martha, by limiting her service to actions that made her comfortable and by demanding that others do likewise, was in danger of making an idol of her traditional role. Jesus, while not discouraging her service, tried to help her focus on something far more important. Jesus encouraged Martha to see in a new way, to focus on what had previously been hidden to her. To do so, she would have to stop looking at herself and begin exercising weak and seldom used spiritual muscles. Jesus uses events in our lives to show us new things about ourselves. Within a year after our son Mark's death, our daughter Heidi married Greg, our son Dan started college, and our oldest son Chuck married Melanie. Suddenly, I was preparing meals for 2 instead of 6. Every trip to the grocery store reminded me of my changing life. The next 2 years were to have been Mark's special time as our youngest child. He would have been the center of our attention. My husband and I planned to use the time to prepare for the imminent empty nest. Mark's sudden death robbed us of our preparation time and hurled me into an unfamiliar and unwelcome role change. I was forced to re-examine my identity as a woman. Through Mark's death, God put me at a frightening crossroad. Would passion for God or the loss of my son become the framework of my identity? Unable to make decisions and impatient with mindless chatter, I retreated from leadership in local women's ministry. My inability to function in previous roles raised questions concerning my purpose. Who was I? How should I fill my days? How could I? How would I? Learning to articulate my ultimate identity as God's disciple rather than as a mother forced me to find new ways of responding to my redemption. Like the excruciating pain of learning to walk again after an injury, every step caused anguish, but my spiritual health demanded that I face the challenge. Friends, the scriptures do not name Martha as a woman at the cross, but I personally have no doubt she was part of the women afar off. Her encounters with Jesus helped her understand her identity as a child of God and transformed her way of viewing not only her service, but the opportunity to sit at the feet of Jesus with her sister. However, as we will see tomorrow, just like us, Martha needed more than one personal encounter with Jesus. We will watch as he starts preparing her for his death, but also his resurrection. Oh, Father, our hearts really do go out to Martha. We are all about doing, when you call us to be about being. When busyness overwhelms us, remind us of those precious words you spoke to Martha. You are busy about so many things. It's time to choose the better part. Sit at my feet a while and be energized by my love for you. Friends, thanks so much for joining us for the Daily Treasure podcast. And as always, we like to introduce you to other resources that are designed to help turn your heart toward Jesus. And one of those is our Help and Hope podcast. You know, Jesus promised that in this world we will have troubles, but don't be afraid, because as he also promises, he has overcome the world. We are so grateful that we can offer to you stories, redemption stories from the Help and Hope podcast that are designed to address some of those troubles that we might experience. These life crises are often difficult to discuss, but friends, they need to be faced as we help one another walk by faith. The Help and Hope podcast includes real-life testimonies of people who have walked through experiences that are hard and they have found their strength in Christ. We tackle such life crises as terminal illness, loss of a child, widowhood, depression, addiction, adoption, and so much more. Our guests include well-known people like Nancy Guthrie, Daryl Strawberry, Ben Fuller, Rosaria Butterfield, Laura Story, Vanitha Reisner, and so many more. But we also offer many stories from people like your neighbor, your friend, your coworkers, people like you, people who quietly persevere, often alone in their struggles, except for the presence of their Lord. Some of our conversations are with counselors and those who offer practical steps for walking by faith when life is hard. I know that these conversations are going to shore up your foundation for those uninvited moments when your faith is challenged. You're going to be encouraged, and we invite you to share these stories with others to help them walk by faith wherever God has placed them. So friends, go to markinc.org, that's markinc.org, click the Help and Hope link, and browse these stories and look for those stories that apply specifically to you, but also check out the ones that don't, because I know that there's someone in your life who's going to need the help and hope that you hear in these conversations. I'm Sharon Betters, and I am so grateful that you have joined us today, and we look forward to being with you tomorrow.